I'm not sure. I didn't hear what the music they're playing now, but it must be Handel. You know why? Because all I hear is la 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 la. Did you like that?
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores, or just one.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
See, I've actually started Christmas decorating. But right now, my poor little honeycomb tree looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I gotta fix that. There he is, showing off that candy dish again. Ugh. Well, I can't help it because I was so excited to find this. I have to show it to you again with a sterling silver lid. And you see the etch on there? I know. Stop rubbing it in, because we know you're going to keep it and not sell it. Well, I don't know. Okay, I know you can't see me right now, but that's all right. We're going to do a whole bunch of different things in this video. I have a little bit of the thrift haul, some things to show you here in the house, out on the basement, out on the front porch, and then we're going to go down in the basement and find out which light fixture did he choose. It was a tough decision, but I've chosen one and I'm about to show it to you. So all right, let's take a look at this. Just yesterday in the thrift store. Take a look at what I found. Now we'll stand it up. Ouch. I keep saying ouch, and somebody said in the other video, why are you always saying ouch? Well, I got arthritis in my knee and I got arthritis in my elbow. Runs in the family. So, ouch. Anyway, speaking of ouch, look at that big old, woo, doesn't matter. We're getting her out of there anyway. I'm not over the top about that print. And so I'm actually glad that it has a big, well, I know it can be repaired, but it's nothing valuable. But look at that frame. That is a 1920s polychromed painted frame. Let me see if I can get, look at that. That's all done with paint. Artificial graining, they call it. You see that? That's real wood, the floor. This is all artificially grained paint. And plaster, yeah. And it has convex glass. That's that chair I don't know what I'm going to do with yet. That's the one that came from the, we already talked about that in the last video. What did I pay for that chair? $5? I forget. And then this great old, so I paid $7.99. I don't think you can see it. Spinning around. Well, I guess Amy owned this at one time, or maybe it was supposed to be left. Maybe that's what somebody did. They went around their house and they wrote on the backs of everything who was supposed to inherit what. This was supposed to go to Amy. Well, apparently Amy didn't think much of it because it went to the thrift shop. It was probably in okay condition and somebody stuck their knee through it and messed up that print. But as I said, I didn't get it for the print. I got it for the frame, and put that right back there like that. Now I'll back up so you can see the whole thing. It's a big one. Yeah. All right, let's do something else. Okay, now the items that you're going to see now, none of them have been cleaned, and all of this just came from the thrift shop. We'll see this piece of glass again when I do my snow and ice sale sometime in January. So that still even has its price tag on it. And ooh, it needs to be clean. Everything needs to be clean. Look how filthy this chair is. Remember, that just came from the thrift shop. Now, the only thing that I bought that is not old is this. However, there is some collectible value to this, and I bought it because, oh my gosh, it's a cast iron doorstop. The paint is lovely. Someone is gonna flip. It should probably stay right here. Paid $3.99 for it. And it is a John Wright cast in the USA. design. So it says there Donsko Incorporated. And it looks like people are paying, you know, 20 bucks or so for these. So I kind of like that. Now, down here on the flow, we've got two antique, wow, pressed glass. Look at that handle. Focus, focus, focus. Oil lamps. Yeah. And they can all be converted back to oil if you want. Look at that one. I love the base on that. Yep. And then this one, yeah, all from the thrift shop. This is nice as well.
Music is
Look at the handle on that. Oh, why did that radio come on so loud?
You're listening to Holiday Concerto.
Well, because I've got a station on called Holiday Concerto, and you know, the music gets really soft and you can hardly hear it. And then you turn it up and then some big old pipe organ comes blasting through and you think it's the second coming. You know, it rattles your teeth. I wish somebody would come up with a way that you could listen to classical music and it would automatically turn itself up and down. Volume. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Put that down. And now, you're either going to love this thing or say, oh gosh, it's hideous. Right? I love it. Big old fan vase. I've seen this before. Can't remember the maker. I'll look it up. And it's a nice one. Sparkly. Look at that. You could really get some nice Christmas, put a nice Christmas arrangement in that. I'm not sure, I didn't hear what the music they're playing now, but it must be Handel. You know why? Because all I hear is la 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 la. Did you like that?
I don't want to hear any more.
Looky there! 4 parts to that divided, filthy dish in green glass, which will glow under a black light. How about that for your little candies? That's going to be a nice one. And I have bought and sold dozens of these, and I've never kept one for myself. That might be the one that I decide to keep for myself. And finally, I know I'm keeping this, and I am thrilled spitless. That is an Art Deco. Why am I shouting? That is an Art Deco pottery cat. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. He only stands, about 5 inches tall. He's unmarked. And this is where you've got to be careful with the Google image search, because you'll Google image it and you'll get 20 different... Listen, they've been making these Art Deco cats for decades, yeah? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They even continued making them in the 1980s. It was popular to do this with a cat. And everybody from Hager Pottery to Frank Art and everybody in between made something like this. You've got to really be careful when you're trying to figure it out. I don't know yet. I'll work on it. I know what that glaze looks like to me, and I bet you're thinking the same thing. He or she, kitty cat, is great. One little nip on the top of the ear, but that just means that he was fixed, right? Isn't that what they nip the top of the ears, the cat's ear? So the point is, if someone wants to sort of look for this, be careful. I have to be careful, and I really have to study. I think I know who it is based upon the color of that glaze, but they're stylized. They don't always look. Some of them have a 1960s look. Some of them have a 30s look. But I love him, and we're going to keep him in my collection. At some point, I'll show you the collection that I've got. Well, let's go over here for a second. Oh, there I am making noises getting up off the floor. I'm a sound effects machine. But I was told after you turn a certain age, you do turn into a sound effects machine. Now, the cleaning lady ain't been around, so don't look at the dust on the floor. Just kidding, there isn't any cleaning lady. Or cleaning man. This kitty cat right here, I finally... Oh, look at the dust on that. Isn't that awful? Put it over here. Now, let's go back over here. It took me forever to find this. I have a photograph of my mother as a child on the floor in front of the fireplace at my great-grandparents' house. And she's sitting in a little rocking chair. I'll show you the picture. I've shown it to you before. And this cat, or one exactly like it, is sitting next to her. And that cat... That cat is, probably the biggest one that you'll find. He is 12, 13, 14, about 16, between 16 and 18 inches tall. Yeah. And he's got green nails, and I think there's just a hint of green in his eyes. And he is just about as Art Deco as it gets. So I'm going to insert the photograph and show you. It's hard to see the cat. What happened to it? Who knows? But the picture was taken... Well, let's go get the picture. Well, there are my old great-grandparents. That's the side of the family that didn't play cards, didn't drink alcohol, and obviously didn't smile in photographs. No dirt on her linoleum, I can tell you that. I knew him, he was an old man. There he is, listening to that old radio, and he would sit there, even in the early 70s, with that same radio. Look at those curtains. Now... Funny thing is, my great-grandmother in that picture, she's only 18 years old. No, I'm kidding. Why do they always look so old, in those pictures? Anyway, here they are again. You asked me where I got to like the 1930s. That house didn't change one bit, even when I played there in the early 70s. That's my mother, her brother, and her sister. Now this, I think, is at my mother's house. I'm dying for that Art Deco chair. You see my great-grandfather on the left? Look at the upholstery on that chair. Look at the rugs. Ugh. Who knows what happened to that chair? Anyway, there's my mother on the floor back at her grandparents' house. You see the cat on the left, which would be to her right? You can barely see it. That's that great big pottery cat. And that's the one that disappeared, but I finally found one. That picture was taken in 1946. Right out here on the porch, I also wanted to show you something else I got at the thrift shop. And ignore the fact that that lamp is sitting there. You know by now, I am constantly moving things. Nothing ever stays in one spot, hardly. Look at these two. I found a matching... Let me get this out of the way. Yeah. I found a set. Now that Made in Japan sticker puts these in the early 60s, after the war. These are not electrified, and believe it or not, they have wicks in them. And if you wanted to, you could still see way down in there. Yeah, you could put something in there, lighter fluid, I don't know, gasoline, some lamp oil, and you could light these little things and use them as, or probably the safer thing to do, although I don't know how you would get a little tea light candle in there. I don't think it would fit in there, but anyway. What's that on the front? Some kind of chinoiserie scene, I don't know. Not really blue willow, but aren't they cute, that little pair? Somebody's gonna want those. And I just could not. I couldn't. I need to start saying no, but which side? because I don't get these very often with the mirrored backs in them. That's an old one, 1930s, and it's got the mirrored, see? And so we can put our little objet d'art in there, see? All right, so everybody had these on their walls in the 30s and 40s. Go all the way up. It's 3-tiered, and that's the way it hangs. And I do a scratch cover on it to clean it up. The wood is in good condition. We have, this veneer always seems to fleck off somewhere, but oddly enough, it's come off on the inside. All I'm going to do is just cover that. You'll never see it. Stain it. I'm not going to cut new pieces for that on the inside. So there's that one little piece there on the inside, and that's it. Let me back up. That is a nice one, folks. What did I pay for it? $6.99. So don't you tell me that there aren't still some good deals to be found in the thrift shops. Okay, now, which light fixture did I choose? Let's go down in the basement. I know you're sitting there waiting with bated breath. Come on, let's go find out which light fixture. Come on, let's go find out what light fixture I chose. See, that's what I get, stepping on stuff. Come on, let's go to the basement. You ready? Wow. Now, I want to make sure that you can visualize this. First of all, I'm down here on the floor looking up, so it's kind of difficult to do this. I'm going to insert some photographs here with the background removed, so hold tight. But this is what it will look like. There is the shade in place on this particular fixture, and then as we go up, you can see I've got all of my silk shades. Now let's talk about these silk shades. Oh, by gosh, by golly. Were you with me a couple of years ago? I was down in Newcastle, Delaware, and I went to the flea market there, and this man had this old box. Now it says Victor. That's not the Victor Talking Machine Company. Philadelphia. Coats, suits, furs. Well, it was a clothier, yeah. So you can see here, Victor, 1617 Walnut Street, Philly. Coats, suits, and furs. And Mrs. E.C. Schmidt of Villanova purchased something. Well, when I opened up the box, I was delighted to find, and hey, I got more than that. This box was filled. So we have two examples. Here they are with a red and a green, and here they are with two shades of green. These shades are from these shades date to circa 1925 to 1935. I've been in this business for a long time, and I love lighting. These shades are 100 years old. Almost, very close to it. And I've got enough in red, and I've got enough in green that I can actually trade out shades if I want. So these are the antique shades. And then, of course, you have the versatility of doing other things with lampshades, but I love that I've got the antiques. So now, remember, the chain can be shortened, links can be taken out. And on this particular light fixture, I have the ability to turn on the candles at the top, or just the indirect lighting from the bottom, or everything, and it's all going to be on a dimmer switch. Guess what? That's the one I'm going for. Bling, bling, bling. It won't be too big. It's not going to overpower that room. I am super excited. one of the things is I love the warm indirect light that I'm going to be able to get from this shade. I cannot stand naked light bulbs. Ugh, you know, I love soft indirect lighting, and you want that in a dining room. So there'll be lots of warm light that will come down, and you know, the heat goes upward. A lot of people did mention that as well. And then the ceiling fixture in the living room will be this same caramel colored luster glass, which was so popular in the early 1930s, and it will really tie the whole room in together. So I like the colors on that. Now I have to tell you, I am heartbroken that I'm not using the carnival glass fixture. I love that fixture to death, but the versatility that I'll get out of this light fixture and sort of the wow factor of it, I appreciate everybody's input. You did fantastic, and I read all of your comments, and you all had great things to say. This particular fixture, we had more votes for this than anything. A lot of you really did love the carnival glass fixture. Let's go take a look at that again. And they're not pink. A lot of folks were saying pink, but wait a minute. That's the way it shows up in videos, I guess. But the shades aren't pink. They're actually marigold carnival glass. And I still love this fixture. This is a little more old-fashioned. This goes back to a little more circa like 1920. These pan lights with these long chains that hang down. So, but I'll tell you what, this was a close second place. I guess they do look pink on the TV screen, but you can see they're actually beautiful. I think these are made by Imperial, and they are signed carnival shades. So this is nice, but you will have naked light bulbs hanging down. Well, not really naked. They would be up in there. And so love it, but I had to make a decision. I love this one too. You know, I like all of them, and it wasn't easy. But I certainly did appreciate what everybody had to say. And the ceiling fixture that will go in the living room is something like this. You see, in fact, it's down here on the floor, but I can't really get to it at the moment. And it'll be a ceiling mount, so there really is no room for it to hang down because I only have 8-foot ceilings. This fixture over here can hang down from the ceiling. I can shorten the chains, and there's a certain number of feet from the dining room table that it should hang, a number of inches rather. So it's gonna look great. I am excited. It's going to be, I think, super wow. I think you're gonna love it. All right, let's put in some photographs of it with the background taken away. And yeah, I think that's the winner. Ouch. Ouch. I always have to remind myself, I have to watch out for pipes under here. Okay, let's take a look at the pictures that I made of it.